Well, I'm excited to see this, the last race before tea. It's the Princess Elizabeth St. Paul's School on the left of our picture and St. Joseph's Preparatory School of the USA on the right. Yesterday, a close race for St. Joseph's, beating Shiplake by only half a length. It was an epic race. I watched it again this morning, really tingling watching that race. But St. Paul's, it's a younger, fresher crew, but the same pedigree of those that we've seen in recent years. So let's see. I think we've got power from St. Joseph's and poise from St. Paul's. How's it going to go?
Nail-biting, Matt. It's nail-biting, isn't it? It's great to see the black and white of St. Paul's on the far side racing against the crimson of St. Joseph's, and this is exciting. You know, St. Joseph's are the national champions in the US and posted a really fast time of 5:51. We've not had such favourable conditions over here in the UK, but the St. Paul's crews won the Brit Junior Championships in 6:02. But at the moment, it looks like they've taken a couple of seats lead there, which is fantastic for that St. Paul's crews so early in the race.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great start from St. Paul's. Great to see the technique that they can exhibit. Less experience in this boat than some we've seen in the past, but as we rejoin the race down the track, that style has helped them, and they're in a strong position now, able to control the race from the middle. And yeah, what do you see in terms of the way these two crews are rowing, Adam?
I just noticed, I think there was a little bit of bounce going around there where all the wind was catching, because both boats were being knocked around a little bit, which, given that these are eights, you know, it must have been quite a bit of a shake there. But I think they're both on solid terms now, and it looks like St. Paul's are just trying to lock this in and just really be in control of this race. And then St. Joseph's on the left-hand side in the crimson are just, you know, they're mounting an attack. They're definitely going for it. You know, they don't want to let St. Paul's walk away with this.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well said. And well, just 20 minutes ago we saw Oliver Parrish in his pairs competition, the goblets, and here we've got young Jasper Parrish, and this time in the Cox's seat for St. Paul's School. The Parrish rowing dynasty. Father Matt is a Cambridge rower, and mother Zoe a University of London Cox. So they produce all kinds of rowing talent here, which is great to see.
And of that St. Paul's boat, Sebastian Marsener in the foreseat. Obviously, he's got a lot of family and friends watching out in Australia. So, you know, glad to have you aboard. Family and fan club in Australia, and obviously, you know, anyone from the US that's tuned in to watch over lunchtime. You know, let's watch this St. Joseph's crew, and hopefully they can have another go at this as they sort of try and claw back some of this lead that St. Paul's have got.
Well, St. Joseph had a really tough day yesterday, and the question is, and potentially the question they're asking themselves is, have they got enough in those legs? Have they got the fitness? They've had an amazing season in the US, and you know, you don't make the trip over to Henley lightly in these days, and they've come over here and they're going to give it their all to see if they can get back on terms with St. Paul's, and they've got some power, they've got some push. St. Paul's are going to need to respond and keep controlling the race.
Yeah, St. Joseph's are undefeated this year. That's a phenomenal run to be as a crew, you know, and they won't be liking this, and you can see that by the racing. They are really going for this. They want to claw this back, and that's great to see. Coach Pfeiffer's, I'm sure, has instilled a really sort of gutsy, you know, die-hard spirit in these guys, and they're still going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They have everything to play for, and I think they have managed to recover some of the deficit that opened up in the first third of the course here. Really strong now, rowing now. Look at that kind of strong, powerful strokes from the stern pair. Chris Weiss, 18 years of old, and Tommy Schreiber in the 7th seat, and the crew behind them backing them up as they try and push on, see what they can do to get back on terms with St. Paul's.
I think you're right though, Matt. You said earlier that the race yesterday was a really tough one against Shiplake. You know, there's only half the length in that, so they were pushed all the way down the course, and then another tough race like today into this headwind. You could just see some of the blades just being lifted a little bit, and so, you know, it's hurting for these guys. They're digging deep.
Yeah, well, you're right. Yesterday, St. Joseph's caught Shiplake rather napping off the start, I think, and extended out to quite a nice lead, and then Shiplake really came back at them, and it was really neck and neck at this point in the race. Well, at this stage, it looks like St. Joseph's may be carrying a bit too much of the weight of that race and not able to respond, while St. Paul's, with that characteristic efficiency we've seen. We talked about the sort of Harry Mahon approach to rowing, the loose shoulders, the quick connections, the fluid simplicity of the stroke. That's what they're aiming for at St. Paul's, and great to see them being able to deliver that despite the challenges of this year's rowing as they come through the enclosures.
really pays off all that training and the training camps they'd gone on over the summer holidays and worked together as a crew and stuck in and sort of, you know, really been sort of restricted in who they've met and socialised with and focused on their rowing, and it's paid off, isn't it? And you can see what it's done for them.
Yep, well, Saints alive. St. Joseph Preparatory School have come across from the US. Fantastic to see them. Thank you for visiting Henley Regatta. You provided 2 fantastic races for us to watch, but St. Paul's School, sitting there at Hammersmith, have crossed the line first. They'll be happy with that in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup, the victory over St. Joseph's.